Did you know there are drugs that are taken from camel piss today?
Okay, so would you drink camel piss if you're thirsty?
No, of course, it wasn't for thirst, was it? Show me a healthier life than Islam.
Okay, people who live in, say, the islands of Greece, for example, they have good diets.
But they drink alcohol.
Okay, well, I think you can find a study somewhere that says they're healthiest. It doesn't matter to me.
No, you can't. Those studies have all been negated. Do you know how many us British, how many Indians we killed? Have a guess.
100,000.
Couple of 100,000. Higher.
Million.
10 million. Higher.
20 million.
Higher.
30 million.
Higher.
50 million.
Higher.
100 million.
100 million. Islam, when it comes to societies living in the best possible way, free of alcohol, free of drugs, free of sexual immorality, free of payday loans and these high interest loans and all this buying a car on finance and this on finance and that on finance, crippling debts. It saves a society from all of these family values. Have children, marry, don't sleep around. In today, in the workplace, 30% of the people at work are in relationships with one another. Intimate relationships. How many of these people are married? How many of these people, according to Western societies, are in a committed relationship, possibly with children? Because it's the society. It's the way that things are done. In Islam, the brother's right. You know what your tax would be in Islam, in an Islamic country? 2.5%. As a non-Muslim, you would pay a tax as well. But you would not have to go and fight in the army or support the government in that way, but I would have to fight for your protection.
Okay.
But it's very low. You keep most of your money. Now here, so what I'm trying to say to you is, even if you look at it from a way of life, look, even if you're not religious, and I said to you, adopt the way of life of any religion out there. Forget the worship, forget all of the other spiritual stuff. Just a way of life. Pick the healthiest, most productive, most peaceful, most decent, most honorable ways of living. What are you going to choose?
Well, if I were to live in an atheist
You're going to say, even an atheist paradigm.
If there's no morality,
I would say, okay, no drugs and alcohol, even though I like it and I'm addicted to it. But I know that there's a lot of harm in society. No gambling, no sexual immorality. Everyone has to be loyal. When you allow your daughter at 16 or 18 to get picked up by the boy who wants to take her to the prom, you know what he wants.
Can I just make two?
No, but listen to what I'm saying, right? Your precious daughter that you brought up for 16, 17, 18 years, you know what that boy wants because you wanted the same thing when you were young, right? But you're going to forget all of that. Why? Because you did it. Society says it's okay. I have to let it happen.
Okay,
We don't accept this.
Okay.
We don't accept this sort of thing.
Can I just say a couple of things? Firstly, with which religion is the most healthy or good? If I'm an atheist, given I don't believe in objective morality, that is meaningless. I'm sure many atheists would say child marriage, multiple wives, which is subjective.
Well, who says child marriage is allowed in Islam?
I guess you have Sahih al-Bukhari, who talks about...
Yeah. Does she say she was a child when she got a consummated marriage to him?
Consummated at 9.
Yeah. Does it say she was a child?
Okay, but could you see how the atheist could see that and say that?
Atheists can say all sorts of things.
Exactly, so it's not relevant.
It is very relevant.
But then you made the point
No. I tell you why it's relevant. Because terms matter. Definitions matter. Words matter. If you say child, I'm going to say to you, please define child from your paradigm.
Exactly. It's
from an atheistic paradigm. Yes. From an atheistic paradigm, the only thing you can say is according to our society today, with our social norms,
yes,
we have deemed this age to be adulthood. Fine, I accept that.
And it's irrelevant. In the same way, when you talk about how the atheist, if he sees the religions and sees which one's the best or worst, to him that's just subjective, so it's meaningless.
No, it's
irrelevant.
not subjective.
But you've just made the same.
Is a society that drinks alcohol more healthy?
That's subjective.
Is there less crime, or is there more crime and more unhealthiness?
In the atheist paradigm, that's all subjective.
It's not subjective. Is there statistics to support it?
Okay, but why is that good or bad in the atheist
Well,
paradigm?
no,
There is no morality. We can agree with that. There's no objective
I'm not
morality.
talking about morality.
Okay.
I didn't mention morality.
But you're implying one is better than the other.
No, because not based on morality.
Okay.
Or I'm saying based on health and
But
science and
saying
mathematics.
Saying that's good is...
And analytical and empirical evidence.
Okay.
I'm saying take the social aspect of it away. Take the social aspect of interaction, of friendships, of bonding, of enjoyment. Take all that out of the picture. Because I'm not saying, if you take that into consideration, that does become subjective. I'm saying from a health point of view, show me a system that is better than Islam.
I don't know anything about health, so I can tell you.
So you don't know whether it's healthier to drink alcohol or not to drink alcohol?
I'm sure it's healthy not to.
Is it healthier for a society to gamble or not to gamble?
I guess not.
Is it healthier for a society not to be promiscuous or to be promiscuous?
I guess not. But the point I'm making is
So hold on.
Okay.
So what I was saying to you was,
Okay.
Islam has certain principles. By the way, there are many Muslims who are promiscuous. Not
Okay.
many, but there are quite a few that are promiscuous, that do drink alcohol, and they do all sorts of things. I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about the principles of how you should live your life. Show me a better way, a better system. From a purely health benefit, healthier than if you were to adopt Islam. And before people start saying, I've got these statistics about diabetes in Muslim countries. I'm not talking about Muslim countries, and I'm not talking about the Asian biological predisposition to be more prone to diabetes, which is a fact. I'm talking about purely adopting the principles and the teachings of. Show me a better, more healthier way of living.
Okay, I only have 5 minutes, so could I just
No,
make
but just let's answer that question first.
I don't know anything about different
Come on,
stuff,
be
so I
honest,
can't-
Alex. From what I've said to you now,
Okay, but the issue is I could just turn it around and say, is it healthy for children, I guess that's subjective in itself, to have sex with adult men?
that's why I said to you, don't go into subjectivity. I said,
that's what you're doing.
Is there any data to support what you've just said?
Okay, maybe. I don't want to go into terminology.
Let's
about
stick with
this.
data.
Okay.
Let's stick with data. In Islam, let me just clarify one thing. In Islam, womanhood is based upon many things. Puberty is one.
Okay.
Alex, puberty is one. Social norms have to be also taken into consideration for the age of marriage.
Okay.
So in most Muslim countries, most if not all, the age of consent for marriage is 18. Why? Because they're following Islam. Because Islam says social readiness dynamics have to be taken into consideration. That's why I say it's a cheap shot when the atheist starts talking about child marriage, because they're ignorant, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay? So in Islam, the principles are when she reaches puberty, it doesn't mean you have to get her married. It means that you cannot get her married below that. And number two, apart from many other readiness, mental, physical readiness, etc., the society have to also deem it to be the right age.
Okay.
You have to take that into consideration, right? That's the principle and the teachings of Islam. So please don't keep bringing up child marriage because there's not a point.
Yeah, the issue is
So
I just
answer
don't
my question
value
now.
the point. Okay.
So answer my question. Is there a healthier way of living than the Islamic principles of how you should lead your life?
I don't know. I mean, what's wrong with the Western way of living? Like,
I've given you all the reasons, Alex.
and the reasons.
I think the West has many wonderful and beautiful things. Sorry, many wonderful and beautiful things. I'm not anti-West.
Things in the Western
I'm
world,
not anti-West. I think that the people of the West generally,
Okay.
I think they're very good, very decent people. I think they're, in many cases, even the ones that are against Islam and against Muslims, I don't think they're all bad people. Unfortunately, they've been lied to so regularly, and all they've heard is bad things. So if I was them, maybe I would think the same thing, right? So I'm not saying that I'm anti-West or I'm anti, the white man or anything like that. I'm just asking you, a shepherd in the 7th century, unlettered, comes with a revelation, with all of the other facets of evidence that I gave you, but also came with a way of life, Alex, that even today experts are saying, if we were to adopt just these values, societies would be a lot more wholesome, a lot healthier.
Okay.
So what I'm asking now, Alex, I want you to think about
The thing is, I don't want to go around this rabbit because it doesn't matter to me.
No, it's not a rabbit hole.
It's all about like camel piss, for example. I'm sure there's a hadith you can find that approves of that.
Yeah.
So then why are you making the point of health?
Did you know there are drugs that are taken from camel piss today?
Okay. So would you drink camel piss if you're thirsty?
No, of course, it wasn't for thirst, was it? They had a particular skin condition. And it was only authorized for them. And today, Brother Mansour, who is a chemist, Dr. Imran, who was a chemist and is now a doctor, has produced articles from peer-reviewed studies of drugs that are derived from the camel piss that you guys in the West take the mick or take the piss out of the Muslims for having this in your hadith. Okay, that is something that is strengthening the claim of Islam, not weakening it, and you don't even realize that. There are medical peer-reviewed studies of, now they synthesize it. They don't take it from the actual camel piss. Now they synthesize that. You can go and Google it yourself. So these people thought they were being clever. Oh my God, your prophet told somebody to drink camel piss. Oh my, how archaic, how medieval. Oh, hold on a second. Our scientists telling us that it does have certain chemicals, enzymes, whatever it was, that actually have cures to certain diseases. Oh, how did a man in the desert who was a shepherd know this? You see my point, Alex?
Okay.
You brought up child marriage,
Yes.
you brought up camel urine. What else are you going to throw in the myths before you admit that the healthiest way of living is the Islamic way of living? Because that's the reality.
I just don't care about whether it's healthy or not. That doesn't matter.
I tell you when you would care. I tell you when you would care if it was in the Bible. Then you would care. Then you would be telling me that you Muslims need to be following this because look, we live a healthier life because we are saved from all of these perils. We're saved from sexual immorality, from interest, okay, from the monetary system that enslaves people. We're saved from sexually transmitted diseases. One fifth of the American population, 20% are carrying a sexually transmitted disease. We're saved from that. We're saved from alcoholism. We're saved from drug addiction. We're saved from gambling addiction. You would be telling me that Jesus said this in the Bible. You should be following this. But the reason why you don't care, Alex, is because Islam comes up with it. It's because it's from Islam. It's because it's from an Arab. It's from a brown man. I'm not saying you, by the way. I'm talking about the West. If it was a white man that came up with it, they would have no problem. But they say, oh, these camel jockeys, these Arabs, these darkies, these brown people, they're going to teach me about how it is to live. I wear a £1,000 suit, my man. I walk around with a swagger. I have an English accent. I have tea at 4 o'clock in the afternoon with my cucumber sandwiches. And these people are going to tell me how I must lead my life? Ha 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 ha! That's the problem, fundamentally.
Okay, could I just make a point? Because you know what I'm going to say, because I didn't decide to go around this route, because as I said, it doesn't matter to me.
I want you to answer my question before you move on. Show me a healthier life than Islam.
Okay, people who live in, say, the islands of Greece, for example, they have good diets.
But they drink alcohol.
Okay, well, I think You can find a study somewhere that says they're the healthiest. It doesn't matter to
No,
me.
you can't. Those studies have all been negated. The half a glass of wine a day that might have some benefits, today, the latest research says any amount of alcohol is bad for you.
Okay, could I talk about the prophecy
No,
once again?
I want you to answer my question. Show me a healthier life than Islam.
Okay, people live the oldest, okay, statistically. Some of the oldest living kind of communities are within
I'm
the
not
Greek
talking about
islands.
people.
Okay,
I'm not
because
talking
I
about
don't care
land.
about this. So
I'm talking about principles. Show me some principles in any ideology that are healthier than Islam.
What's wrong with the Christian fundamental principles?
You drink alcohol, you cause yourself problems.
It says not to be drunken,
You allow gambling everywhere. Your churches allow sexual immorality. Your boyfriend and your girlfriend can show up in the church service, and the vicar, the priest, he won't say anything. Oh, my child, come, welcome. Oh, you're sleeping together. It's okay. As long as you love each other. You're homosexual. Absolutely fine.
Well, that's about the
You're
fundamental
lesbian.
principles.
It's absolutely
Okay.
fine. No problem. We'll even hang the rainbow flag on top of the church now. It's no problem. Everything is okay. I said, show me a way of life that is healthier than Islam on the matter of principles. And you can't. That's the point, Alex. And you know what you should be doing, not asking more questions. You should, as a clever man, as a clever, educated young man, right? I would expect you to think, you know what? 7th century, an illiterate man herding goats comes up with a revelation, unequaled, preserved for 14 centuries, comes with a way of life that even many non-Muslim academics have said, if the world was to adopt this way of life, free of alcohol, sexual immorality, drugs, gambling, all of the ills, interest payments, usury, that the world would be at peace. The world would be at peace and tranquility, and justice would prevail. But guess what? Because it comes from the Arab, the brown man, the white man doesn't want to know. But if it came from the white man, everybody would want to adopt it. It's about racial, unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's where the message came from and who it came from and who has adopted it is the main barrier for people to accept the religion today. It's not about the fundamental teachings. It's about where it came from. But what they don't realize is Jesus also came from only a few hundred miles around from where Moses came, from where Muhammad, peace be upon all of them, where they all came from. Just a few hundred miles separated them. They were very similar in complexion, very similar in tradition, very similar even in how they looked. All had ordained beautiful beards. They wore long robes. And they teach, if you look at the fundamental teachings of Jesus, of Moses, of Muhammad, peace be upon him, peace be upon all of them, very similar. So that's why I'm saying to you, Alex, just think about this and say, how does a man in a desert in the 7th century come up with not only a text which is preserved, which is now analytically and empirically provable beyond any reasonable doubt, and with teachings that are as relevant in the 7th century as they are to sort out the ills and the problems of the 20th and 21st century. And that is what you should contemplate about. A timeless teaching. And even today, all the clever men and women in the world who've come up with structures of life cannot come up with something better than Islam.
Could you not, I don't care about this as I said, but could you not make the point that...
Why don't you care about this?
Because it's all subjective.
Why is it subjective? These are all objective truths. A society without gambling is better. A society without alcohol is better. A society without sexual immorality is better. A society where big banks and billionaires don't own all the banks and then enslave you for 50 years paying off for a house that you should be able to reasonably afford to buy when you work hard. A society without that enslavement is better. These are not subjective, these are objective, I think.
Do you think that the Muslim world is currently more prosperous than the Christian world?
Absolutely not. But as I said to you, when you look at the Muslim world and its prosperity, and you look at the non-Muslim world and its prosperity, does that come because they are Christian and they follow Christianity? Does it come because of their following Islam that they're backward? Is it the fact that they're all very good Muslims? Are their leaders all very good Muslims practicing Islam? Or my country, India, my parents' country, I'm from here, England, right? But my parents' country, India, between 1880 and 1920, do you know how many us British, how many Indians we killed? Have a guess.
I'd say a couple 100,000.
How many?
A couple 100,000.
Couple of 100,000. Higher. Have a wild guess.
10 million.
10 million. Higher.
20 million.
Higher.
30 million.
Higher.
50 million.
Higher.
100 million.
100 million.
In what kind of ways?
1880 to 1920.
It's in, you're implying they went in and killed everyone they saw.
If you don't believe me, Google it right in front of me now. You can test me. The estimates are 100 million.
Okay.
You see, the Western colonial powers, they clip the wings of the Muslims and then they complain that they don't soar, they don't fly anymore. Study the history. I'm not anti-West. I think the West is amazing on many things. I think most Westerners are good people. I've said that to you. I was on the march for the first anti-war march for the first Iraq war. It was a cold, I think, November morning. I was honored to be with my English, society, men, women, and children. Most of the people there were middle class, working class, average English people. It was the biggest anti-war march in the world. There was no social media at that time. And I think there hasn't been a bigger march than that. I was proud to be an Englishman. I was proud to be, British. I wouldn't say English because I'm not English racially, right? I was proud. I was proud to be with my country folk, to stand against an injustice. There's a lot of good people in this country and in Europe. I don't doubt that. But the leaders, the systems have been deeply oppressive. And I'm not saying the white man has a monopoly on oppression. Many people have oppressed people. They've been Arab people who've oppressed, they've been Asian people who've oppressed, black people, everyone has oppressed. South America, yes, what was done to them was horrible, the Spanish Inquisition. But they also did horrible things to one another. I'm not saying that the white man has a monopoly, but when you complain, when you criticize the Arab world, the Muslim world, the Asian world, the African world, for not soaring as high as the European, then I say don't clip their wings.
Okay, can I make?
Because if you because if you clip their wings, then they're not going to be able to fly.
Can I just know?
So make it fair, make it just. So when you make the argument, because I hear this argument a lot.
Okay.
How comes we don't see Muslim countries prospering financially, scientifically, like the West? But remember one thing, Alex. The Muslim world reigned supreme for 1,000 years on science, technology, and on wealth.
Okay.
For 1,000 years, the European hegemony and dominance is 200, 250, maybe 300 years.
Okay.
So, if you say that science, technology, mathematics, and wealth, material wealth, are the gauge and the measure of right and wrong.
Which is what I never said.
But then the Muslims were right for over 1,000 years then.
Okay. Can I just make a final point? Because I need to leave really soon. I never used it as a gauge. I never cared about this point.
Why did you say it then?
Because you made the point, so I said, surely you could flip it. Because
No, but you can't flip it because what I just told you.
You asked me, is it the most healthy society? I said I didn't care.
I said from principles. Alex, okay. I said from principles.
Can I talk about the prophecy very briefly?
No,
just very quick.
I want you to answer my question first. From principles, show me a healthier system.
I haven't thought about this at all, like ever in my life.
I want you to think about it now. If nothing comes to mind, say, look, nothing comes to mind.
Again,
why are you finding it so difficult to answer?
Because you could always flip it one way or the other.
Well, then flip it. Try to flip it. You did try to flip it. You tried to flip it with child marriage. Didn't work.
Why?
You tried to flip it with Muslim communities not being as
Please,
successful.
can I go to prophecy? I'm begging you, like...
No, but answer this question first, then we move to prophecy.
I don't care, and it's subjective, okay? It doesn't... Whether society's prosperous
Not caring
or not
about
does not make it
something,
true.
not caring about something is not the issue.
Okay, whether society's prosperous or not does not mean their belief system is true.
I agree.
Okay.
So why did you raise it?
You raised it.
No, I didn't.
You raised it.
You said what about if somebody said that the
Okay.
prosperity in Muslim countries is not equal
I said,
to...
what if? Because I didn't make the point you
So you
started.
made the point though.
You said that you were talking about the health of Islam, and you said
I
you
said
implied
the
that it was true.
principles, measuring
Okay.
those principles. If those principles were
Now,
applied
please
in
talk about the
Europe,
prophecy. I'm begging, like,
if those
honestly.
principles were applied in Europe, show me a healthier system
Okay,
than
can I
that
get into the
system.
prophecy? Can I get into
Just
prophecy?
answer that
I'm
question first, and then we can move on.
begging. Okay. I can't continue the conversation.
If nothing
you keep
comes to
running.
mind, say nothing comes to
Nothing
mind.
comes to mind.
Okay, fine. Let's move on. Then.
Okay, with the prophecy. So you're talking about a period of time between the Romans and the Persians, okay?
Yeah.
Lots of skirmishes. When I say the Crusades, every couple of years you have conflict. In 1115, you have Roger of Antioch, he wins the battle. 1119, you have the battle for your blood. He loses tragically. And then the same years, couple of years, Baldwin II goes back and he wins a few battles to make up for the losses of Roger. So within this small time period of 5 years, each side wins several times. Could I not at that time period say, in 3 to 9 years, the Crusaders will win a battle? That would come true. If I said in 3 to 9 years, the Muslims will win a battle, that would come true.
Have you compared an equal example? Is it a glove fit analogy that you just used?
Sure.
No.
Because in the first edition,
I'll
it's
tell you.
like final child.
I'll tell you why not.
Why?
Because here you have the Roman Empire, which is on its when I say last legs, it was widely agreed that it was going to go finished. It was over. It wasn't a battle where they were still strong and they had a big, strong army.
I can make the same
and
point.
it was very obvious that these guys probably would fight back. That's the first thing. But there are bigger claims, Alex. The Prophet said to the companions, whilst they were surrounded in the Battle of Khandaq, the Battle of the Trench, by all the Confederates, all of the different tribes had gathered together, tens of thousands of them, to defeat the Muslims. Okay? The Prophet made some claims about the Muslims. The Muslims thought, maybe, you know what, this might be the last battle, yes? But what did the Prophet say? You're going to take Syria, and you're going to take Iraq, and you're going to take Egypt, and you're going to take this, and you're going to take that.
Wait, did he?
Yes, they did.
Oh, wait, are we talking about the Roman Empire or the...
And you will defeat the Romans, and you'll defeat the Persian. And in fact, he told one of the companions that you will wear the bangles of the Kisra, the king of the Persians. That was a prophecy. You will wear the Listen to what I'm saying, Alex, yeah? Today, modern day historians, and you can Google this, some of them have claimed this would be like the Eskimo making a claim that you're going to defeat the empires of America and Russia, and then within a decade it happens.
Okay.
Right? This is tantamount to that. Yes? The Prophet made this claim. This is a prophecy.
Okay. Can I just ask you, why is the analogy of the Crusades wrong with that prophecy, the first one that you mentioned? Because with 1119, the Battle of the Blood, the reason they lost is because of hubris. Because at this point, the Crusaders seemed like an unstoppable force. They weren't against the odds against the
So
Muslims.
what happened if it didn't happen?
Okay, the
between
whole
three-
point is that...
Hold on a second.
Okay.
What if they didn't fight again? Between 9 years, what would happen? The prophecy would fail?
Okay, but literally every year in the Crusades they
fail?
fight.
Would it fail?
Okay.
Would it fail?
Sure.
Okay. If the empire, one of the people, ended up fighting somebody else and they got defeated, and they didn't get to fight again, would the prophecy fail?
Sure.
If the battle took place within 3 years, before 3 years,
That would be, irrelevant.
it would fail.
The whole point is there are so many battles
So there
and
are
so many victors that it doesn't matter. I'll let you make your final point, but I need to leave after
What
this.
I'm trying to say to you is, there were many reasons why the prophecy could have failed.
Okay.
One of the biggest ones is that the people themselves, the non-Muslims, right? The non-Muslims said, Muhammad has made a blunder here. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Okay.
The non-Muslims were saying, they were ridiculing, this is never going to happen. This man, why has he said this? And they even put money down to bet with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu that I bet you this is not going to happen. That's how confident they were. So it was completely counterintuitive. It was not a skirmish that was happening every year, so it was obvious they were going to fight back. It wasn't like that. That's why I'm saying you're not comparing like for like. And as I said to you, Alex, it's not about one prophecy. It's about multiple ones. And when they all come true and you don't make a mistake, the probability of that becomes, I believe, compelling. And there's no room for maneuver.
I need to leave now.
Relax, dude, relax. We're having a nice conversation. Don't come and ruin it now, please. Don't spoil the conversation. I do need to leave, so if he wants to No, I'm not going to be talking to him.
Could you make your final point?
Why is that then?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I talk to people who are not disingenuous.
I'm not disingenuous.
And I talk
want to talk about the prophecy.
And I talk to people.
I want to talk about
Alex, it was a really nice pleasure to speak to you.
Okay.
God bless.
So maybe it's a nice pleasure to discuss.
I don't speak to Socko.
Okay.
And I don't speak
So
to. I don't speak to Bob the Builder.
Yeah.
I don't speak to people that look like Bob the Builder. Okay. I don't do that.
So again,
you know why? I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because my time is limited.
Okay.
And I come here maybe once every 5-6 weeks.
Yes.
I don't want to suck up my time.
What debating if you're true?
In a black hole.
Okay.
I'd rather talk to somebody who is not disingenuous.
Okay.
Somebody who truly wants to engage in a conversation.
Yes.
Where it will be meaningful.
Okay. Beautiful.
And beneficial.
Okay.
So bye bye.
Okay. So
bye bye.
Let me respond.
So bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay. So let me.